Hello. Hello, everyone. God, we haven't done this for such a long time. It's crazy. Okay, I got my headphones on this time. Okay. Oh, what a day it's been. Okay. How are you guys? How's everybody doing? Oh my goodness. It's been one of those days. It's been a race to the finish line, I think, today. Um, yeah. So I'm just gonna wait here for a few more people to join. Okay. Just gonna wait for Saru, bringing Saru in now. Oh my goodness, we haven't connected like this in such a long time. Oh, hey! Oh, hey, you know what? I'm gonna bring you back in because I need to talk to Saru first. For some reason, I thought that you were Saru. I was like, this is gonna be Saru. But how are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm really good. I don't use Instagram, and that's why Saru let me use this account.
Oh, that's
Always.
so cool. That's so cool. Yeah, Saru is just like amazing, right?
Yes, it's so good.
So we're not going to ruin the surprise because we're going to bring you back in shortly. I thought you were serious. What I'm going to do, she's like, you cannot see me.
Again,
You cannot see me.
so I just need to-
That's so funny. All right, so I'm gonna bring you back in. So now I know that I know who to bring in, and she just told me this like a second ago. So I'll bring you in shortly. Oh my God, literally, Saru told me this, and that's just where I am today. I'm sure that you guys will be able to relate to me. There's just some days that you're sharp as anything, and there's other days where you're like someone tells you something a second ago and you're like, completely forgot. Oh my God. Oh, my mom's in the house as well. Hey, Ma. Can see that my mom's here. I always get excited when my mom comes online. Okay. So I'm just waiting for Saru to join us. And then we can start to talk about like what's so special about this episode. Um, it's crazy because we took a little break and we took a little break and then because we knew that we wanted to just spend some time writing funding applications and also just sort of rethinking, you know, what we're doing, how we do it, and who we want to bring in for the next season, right? Of BTC Writers Room. So I am so excited that we took that time out because we have like a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant lineup. And we've got a few little surprises along the way to share with you guys. So, you know, stay tuned. Hey, Saru.
Hey, Sam.
Gosh, it's been ages since we've like connected in this way. I've missed you.
Facts.
Look, I miss this. Obviously we talk all the time, but I miss this. I miss us interacting like this.
I know it's weird actually, but yeah, I kind of miss this. It's fun. It's a nice, snazzy way of freshening up our conversations.
I know, right? So you've just taken some time out, but a lot's happened, Saru. A lot's happened in the time that my mum's saying hello to you, by the way.
Yeah, hi, hi,
Hey, Ma.
hi, Mom.
And the funny thing is that I think that the BTC Writers Room actually like inspired my mum and I to do convos with Ma, you know, that we do on a Sunday. That actually we've just had a little break too, but we're going to come back with that too because loads of people say that they love it. They love sort of hearing from us, so just hearing us talk so frankly about our experiences. But anyway, we're here to talk about Beyond the Canon
Yes.
and Saru. A lot has been going down. Like people can't see what's been happening behind
Oh
the
my
scenes.
goodness. No, they cannot see. But you know what? It's true. It's like Sim was saying before I popped in. It was really good for us to take that time to just really kind of see what we want to do with the show,
Yeah.
because we love the show and we want so much for it. So to like be awesome. So it was very good for us to sort of take that time, do our applications, and
Yeah.
yeah, but no, we definitely have not stopped thinking about BCC Writers Room. I don't think we ever will. So we just have been trying
No.
to figure out ways to elevate it, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's been time well spent for certain, and I'm really excited. We were very thrilled to get the funding as well, so we were
Yeah,
like
so
super
let's make that
excited.
announcement. Like,
Oh my
so the announcement is that we applied, and this was the first time that we've made a funding application for Beyond the Canon, right? And so we made a funding application. Saru led the application to Arts Council England, and it was successful. We're really excited about this. So what that means, what does that mean, Saru? Like, we're not going to tell you all the things that we put in the application, because we're going to slowly just, feed that out to you guys over time. But Saru, do you want to just talk to the application and what it means for us at BTC?
I mean, the first thing that we kind of really wanted to do is we wanted to make sure that we'd be able to continue doing BTC Writers Room, and
Yeah.
to also kind of honor creating opportunities for the writers that we want to engage with. So we want to be able to pay people. We wanted to be able to elevate the show so it's more accessible and so that more
Yeah.
people can access it. I mean, so far it's only been on Instagram, so we definitely wanted to see if there were other avenues that people can sort of find us, and also kind of build more of an audience so that the writers we have and the people we engage with have more of a solid platform in order for them to say what they say. I mean, honestly, like last season of BTC Writers Room, people were dropping gems. The conversations had were inspiring, and at times they really kind of made you
Yeah.
stop for a second and think, wow, these people. And we want to be able to create a platform for them that is worthy of the work that they have done to this point, so that more people can hear of them if they don't know them, so that people can engage with them if they do know them, to kind of put them in the same room as these incredible writers. So we want to be able to do that at least on a grander scale, and we definitely want to be able to pay for everybody who engaged with us last season. They did it out of just the love of the work, the love of what we tried to do here, and it was incredible. But obviously we kind of also need to be aware that it's incredibly difficult to be a freelancer
Yeah.
in this time. It's even harder to be a freelancer from, as a person of color, because the numbers are just heartbreaking. So we want to be able to facilitate opportunities for people, and this funding is so amazing because it allows us to do that. And that's kind of very important to us.
Yeah, so we've got 10 episodes, yo, 10 episodes as part of this new season, which is
Yes.
going to be funded, which is funded by Arts Council England. And like Saru said, even those who did take part in the first season, obviously that was like our pilot season, we want to also honor them, and we also want to find sort of new ways of working with them, which we can pay them for their service, and we can pay them for sort of their relationship with us, their collaboration with us. So yes, all of that is yet to be revealed in terms of like who we've got in that lineup. And it's been crazy because there's been people that are like, why are you not getting me in, Sim, on BTC, right? So I'm sure like now people are going to be like, can you hook me up? Can you like hook us up on the show?
But don't fret though, Sim. We're going to have a season 3.
You know what? And we're still looking for funding. We're still going to be looking for sort of, because, the funding we have, it will serve us in such a great way, but we also want to do more. Like, we are very ambitious, as you can tell, Sarah and I, when it comes to the work, and how do we create sort of more visibility of the work, and how do we support writers through BTC Writers Room, but also through Beyond the Canon. And that leads us to Beyond the Canon, right? So us to talk about our other projects that we've got going on. So I am so thrilled to announce that we are going to be
I give you a drum roll.
producing for the, it's probably like the 7th time, but it's the 5th time with this particular drama school. We are producing a Beyond the Canon showcase with RADA. It's in partnership with RADA, and this time round we've modified it so that it will all take place online. So you'll get to see 10 RADA students, 10 culture diverse RADA students, who will. So I'm just trying to read my. They can come in, but they must introduce and promote Beyond the Canon. Yeah, exactly. I love the fact my mom's giving them a condition as well. She's like, oh yes, they can come in to BTC Writers Room, but they must promote. They must introduce and promote Beyond the. Yes, Ma. Yes. But yeah. So the Beyond the Canon showcase. I'm so thrilled. It's the first time we're going to be doing this, guys, online. Usually what we do is that we partner with various different drama schools and we do it at their particular establishment, right? So some people may not even know that we're doing this. We've sold out every single time that we've done the Beyond the Canon showcase. It's a way for us to connect POC students with works that have been written with them in mind. So these are characters. It's inspired by the monologue anthologies that I put together, but we also encourage them to also look beyond that and to delve even deeper into the Beyond the Canon library, to see if there's another play that resonates with them. And it's just been a fantastic way for the students to preserve and continue the legacy, right, of our work. And they find so much joy in it. It's been such the most like fulfilling experience to see a student that's just like us, really, you know, who's able to learn about a playwright who really speaks to their story, who speaks to their experiences. And also for them to take on a character, a leading character who looks just like them. And this is one of the sort of most pleasurable parts of the work that we do, to be honest with you, because that relationship of text with an actor, a student, who's sort of really wanting to see themselves in the world in which they are pursuing, you know, in the career which they're pursuing. It really is such a full-rounded experience. And the other part of that is through my other company, Artistic Directors of the Future. We also bring in artistic directors of the future directors to direct them. And many a times, this is the first time where a student of color, a student from a culturally diverse background, has ever been directed by somebody who's a non-white director. And I just think it's really important to say that, because this is what fuels and what elevates and what makes this particular project so special, so necessary, so validating, so empowering to everybody that's a part of it. Saru has been producing this. So Saru, talk to us. How's this experience been for you? Because we've now sort of taken it, and also just to say that we've always stipulated that the showcases take place in the heart of the institution, not in the back room, but on the main stages of these institutions. But this time we're elevating even more, and now we're going to be doing it online. So Saru, tell me how it's been for you.
Oh my goodness, it's been such an adjustment. I mean, obviously, we had to sort of find a way to do it as safely as possible, but still kind of keep the spirit of the work that we do. And usually what we would have is we would have workshops, we would have sort of like, we would all be in one beautiful giant room. And it was interesting having the full company on Zoom to start off with. And it was like, okay, how's this going to work? But honestly, it was still really inspiring, you know, and these students, these actors, their ability to just really hold this work in high esteem, and it's just so awe-inspiring. Honestly, it was really beautiful, and it has been an adjustment. I get, you know, because I just want to go in and and I'm a hugger. And you know, so it's been kind of an adjustment, but then
Yeah.
still to be, because we also kind of had time together in spaces, physical time,
Yeah.
physical COVID safe time, but we had time together in spaces, and it was almost like the same thing. We were all kind of unified by the same goal, the same objective. We're all sort of moved by the things Sim was talking about this work, wanting to do it justice, these directors and these performers all coming from sort of a unified understanding of just how important it is to be in this space and to be working together to create something that is bigger than us. And one of the things that's really great about it being online as well is that it's gonna be there. Like it's usually when we do it in the theater space, and yeah, like Sim said, we usually sell out, and sometimes people cannot actually get in, like at the door, they cannot get in. So people miss out, and they don't get to experience just how palpable that environment is, you know. And it's nice to know that we're going to have something that's beautifully shot and very wonderfully recorded for everybody to see, and it will be available after the fact, which means you guys will be able to access these works should you want to, and see them. You should want to, because they're awesome. But yeah, it's been really fantastic from my end to kind of be witnessing all the little moving parts. And it really kind of makes you realize why we do this. And the directors have been spectacular, really, really spectacular. This time round, Sim, is the first time that we've also had assistant directors. Usually we just have the directors, but this time round we had assistant directors. So the number of practitioners involved was 10, which is spectacular. I'm actually super proud of us for that. I actually am, because I think it's important for us to acknowledge that you kind of have to just do it. Right now is a very difficult time for most people to create and facilitate for work, and to make the sort of decisions you have to make in order to try and make it possible is hard. But you have to sort of just try and figure out a way to do it, and you have to sort of prioritize it as something that needs to be done. And you know, and when Sim first suggested, you know what, let's just do it, I was like, yes! And I was incredibly excited, because I recognized almost immediately just how powerful it is to take your words and actually put them into action, to take your well-intentioned, you know, objectives and actually say, you know what, we're going to do this. And I think for me, even being in this space is witnessing the actors working with the directors, and witnessing the directors working with the assistant directors, and sort of facilitating for more people to be in the creative space. For me, that's kind of what Beyond the Canon is about. And it was really kind of, it was very rewarding.
Yeah. And I would say, so to Saru's point, this is the first time we've had assistant directors on the showcase, and it was really important. It was really important for us to, like Saru has, you know, said so clearly, that at this time we have to make space. We have to make space. We have to create opportunities where we can create opportunities. And us, you know, seeing the pouring in of applications, right, of from ADF directors saying, look, I want to be a part of this. I want to get to understand the Beyond the Canon library. I really want to engage with it. I want to increase my knowledge of these plays, of these works. And also, just like Saru said, you know, we can't overlook the times that we're living in terms of, you know, what COVID has done, you know, what this pandemic's done, you know, to the world. And like, how do we in a big or small way, really. You know, how do we create sort of more opportunities for people during this time, and how do we support? So that's why we increased it. That's why we increased the numbers of directors that are on this project. So we have our directors, but we also have assistant directors as well. So that being said, should we bring out some of the people who are being part of this? So we wanted to just give you a little behind the scenes little take on like what we've been working on by bringing in some of the people that are part of this project. So without further ado, I think we should bring on the first person. So we're going to bring in one of the directors that are part of this project, and so I'm going to say goodbye to Saru, and we're going to bring in one of the directors, and we've also got an assistant director as well that we'll bring in shortly. Alrighty then, so Saru, I'll see you in a bit. Bye, darling. Okay, so I'm going to get this right now. Okay. Hey! Hey, Ming!
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Look, you are one of the directors that are a part of our Beyond the Canon showcase, which is the first time we're doing it online. What made you apply to direct one of the monologues?
Honestly, I do think that you...
Oh, sorry, two of the monologues, shall I say?
Two of the monologues, yes. The work that you've done at ADF and the work you and Saru have done at Beyond the Canon is really important work. And it's because it's all about driving change. And what you two are doing is you're being change makers for the future. You're trying to change the artistic landscape of the artistic directors that are going to be out there. And you're trying to change the landscape of the canon of work that's going to be out there. And that I'm so passionate about. So to see that that was going on, I feel like almost anyone that is passionate about seeing more representation on stage, passionate about normalizing underrepresented groups, I'm not surprised that you had lots of applications, because I think lots of people want that to happen. They want to see that happen, that change happen for the future.
So Ming, tell people about yourself, because literally, like, your application just blew me away. And also, it's a great way for me, selfishly, I'm going to just admit to this, it's a great way for me to get to know people on a deeper level, because, you know, we have so many members. We've got like over 350 members at ADF, and I really want to have a closer relationship with all of them, right? And so through doing this process, I'm like, I get to know you guys. You get to see me, and like in this work environment, but we also just get to just be honest with each other, be real, sort of talk about the industry, you know, and you also get to sort of showcase, you know, your talents and be able to share them with the next generation that's going to be coming into the industry, right? That's huge. So let's just start with just who you are, what your experience is today, and also what motivates you. You know, what keeps you going as a director?
I guess honestly, probably the best way to know who I am is by answering what motivates me as a director. But as a quick introduction, I suppose I work as a director for stage and for film. And the reason why I work as a director is because, I feel like there's so much.
I know, yeah, you're trying to bring it all together. Yeah, I like that all the time.
Yeah, right. Wow, change. So another thing that I do is that I work with an advocacy group called BEATS. So British East and Southeast Asians on theaters, in theaters and on screen. And I do that because I do the advocacy because if we look at the statistics today, there's severe underrepresentation. And I don't think we're asking for too much. I'm only asking for publicly funded organizations, so organizations funded by the taxpayer, to represent the taxpayer at the same demographic as the UK. So if that's in London, if you're a London-based company, for example, only 45% of London is white British. So then you should be expecting to see about 50% of lead roles on stages being, well, I don't know what the term, BAME is a problematic term. We don't have a suitable replacement right now, so I'll use that for now. So we should be seeing about 50% of lead roles on stages in London be BAME, but we don't see that, and that's why I advocate, because otherwise we are going to end up having children watching TV, watching screens, and never seeing themselves. Literally, if you have, I think Act for Change did this survey where they surveyed the TV output in the UK on a bank holiday weekend of all the major channels. And they chose the bank holiday weekend because that's a major TV viewing weekend. And there wasn't a single male British East Asian character.
Yeah.
In fact, I can't really think of a single male British East Asian character in most of TV, except if you go all the way back to David Yip being the Chinese detective. You know, Gemma Chan famously said that as an East Asian, she's more likely to play an alien than a British person. So we're going to have kids growing up watching TV and thinking they're weird, they're odd. And if you had a little East Asian boy watching TV and never going out, he would not think that he's East Asian. He'd think he was white, because he's not being represented. And that's actually why I work. That's why I direct. Always, I make sure that I'm working with representation. If I have turned down work before where it's not the work that I want to put out there. So if I'm hired for something and I think I don't have kids yet, one day hopefully I do. If I'm hired for something and I think my children are going to watch this and feel alienated, I won't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, we are the same in that sense. Like I'm so deliberate and intentional of what I put my name to. And that's not to say that I think I'm up here or anything like that, but I just think it matters. It's about leading with integrity. It's about understanding that, you know, everything is political. Everything is political, right? And so with that understanding, there's a level of responsibility that I think comes with that. So let's talk about Beyond the Canon Showcase and how has the experience been for you? Because this is the first time, right? So how has this experience been for you to be directing two monologues, working with RADA students, and having an assistant director as well, and also working with we've also got a filmmaker, right? We've also got a camera person who's a professional camera person who's been sort of attached to this project. How has it been for you, Ming?
Ooh, big question. It was great. You know, everyone is so talented. There's so much talent out there that you know, it's heartbreaking to think we'll lose all this talent because people have to retrain to be sportsmen or something. I did the government survey, and apparently I should be a sportswoman. I don't think that's going to happen. That's not gonna happen.
I need to see this survey. Oh my God.
It's not very helpful.
No, doesn't sound very helpful at all, to be honest with you.
Yes. And I was so pleased to hear that you brought on assistant directors. That's all you, all Saru, that's all you guys. That is amazing, because there's so few opportunities for directors at sort of training level. And so, a fly. And so it's great that you're putting that out there. It's so important. So I loved working with my assistant. She was incredibly talented, creative individual, Nimo. She was so good. And I really loved working with the two actors as well. So I've worked a lot in terms of theatre and training. So recently I directed something for Arts Ed while in lockdown. And before that, I've worked with Drama St. Mary's. So I love working with students, and I love working with younger actors. It is basically the future that we're trying to nurture.
Yes.
And this is the new talent that we're being put out there. I think a lot of times there's not enough good experiences that actors have at an early stage. You're being told a lot of things that are not helpful for your growth. You're being told that you need to put up with a lot of things. And you're too young or too scared to advocate for yourself. And so I think it's great whenever there's these opportunities like Beyond the Canon that show people that actually this is how things should be like. This is a good working environment. And there are people that stand for that. So RADA students were amazing. You guys were amazing. The assistants were amazing. And I really loved working with the filmmaker as well. It was such a, you guys made it such a smooth process. And I know it must have been so hard to produce because there's so much going on. So you did really, really, really well. It's always a challenge.
Yeah, thank you. And did you know of any of the work that's featured in the showcase beforehand, or was that all new to you?
I heard of some of the writers, but I actually didn't hear of the writer of one of the pieces that I did. The one set in Canada. There's a Canadian East Asian writer that I think it was a recommendation from yourself. And I had
That's
never heard of him
yeah.
before. It's such a funny piece.
Yeah.
That could be in the canon.
Yeah. I think that that was paper. Was that paper series? It was
Really bad with names.
by. Let me just double check that. Saru's probably got it written down. I thought it was paper series, and I believe that was by Jacko. Let me just double check. Sorry, you know what it was? I have literally just been having sort of different meetings, so you have to bear with me. I do know my work. Come on, Ming, you're gonna know this. You just directed it. Help me out.
I get it. I know what you mean. I was about to say the same thing because since then I've directed a couple other shoots. So,
you're like, where am I? I said that actually. I said this morning, I was like, it's so crazy to me because I'm like, when you're like going from sort of one thing to the next, I literally just had a meeting with Manchester International Festivals. That's kind of like wearing my other sort of hat. And so yeah, so like now I'm like, oh yeah, so that's right. It was called Paper Series. No, Saru's got it wrong. It's called Paper Series. It's definitely called Paper Series, and it's by David Yee. It is by David Yee, but Paper Series. But yeah, and I think that for me as well, it's really important that we also not only think locally, but we think internationally. And through my sort of relationship with Canada, I can honestly say there's so much brilliant work being produced in Canada that we just very rarely hear about it. And that was another reason why we partnered with Playwrights Canada Press for BTC Writers Room, right? Because we really wanted to find a way to showcase that work. Saru's got there. It is Paper Series, LOL. But it's a fantastic piece. And actually, there's like just so many monologues in that piece. So if you're looking for a monologue, I would definitely recommend that play, Paper Series. It's published. It's by David Yee, and yeah, he's a Canadian playwright, and it's fantastic for monologues. Yeah. And definitely, if you're interested, then obviously you know what to do. Come and check out the showcase on the 28th of October. It's going to be on Zoom, and tickets will be available via the RADA website. So definitely check that out. So yeah. So Ming, is there anything else? Any little nuggets or any gems you want to share before we bring on the assistant? Because we're going to have another chat with looking at it from the assistant director's perspective. But is there anything you want to share just in terms of working on a monologue? Like what types of things did did it change your process in any way?
So it definitely changed my process having to work on Zoom first and then having time in the space. And the time in the space, honestly, it's invaluable. It is entirely, I've done it before where it's a process where the actor films themselves, but it is a different process. And I think it only works if it's embedded almost into the design of the piece. So for what I directed of art earlier in the year, when we had to do it from home, thankfully they had commissioned a writer to write for their graduates, which very few drama schools do. So that was amazing. In fact, their head of drama is, I think, the problematic term BAME, I'm going to use that again, the only BAME head of department, any drama school in the UK. There's just one.
Wow.
Which I think is way below the demographics.
That's, yeah.
Way below.
It's not, it's something that definitely needs to be addressed. And what drama school are you referring to?
That was Arts Ed.
Oh, Arts Ed. Mm.
And so and because they had commissioned a writer for the students, we could work around the material, and I could ask for it to be changed so that the students could film themselves.
Yeah.
And so that needs to be embedded into the process. And so with this, I know how hard you guys worked to make sure we had a COVID safe space and to make sure that we could meet up in person. And that was so invaluable. So all kudos to you, to Saru, to making that happen, making that work, because it's an entirely different process from having to do it from home and having to be entirely at home. And actually it does put a lot of stress on the actor.
Of course. So before you, no, I agree with what you're saying. But before you leave, so I'm going to have to bring in Shantae. Before you leave, why should people buy tickets for the Beyond the Canon showcase? Putting you on the spot now.
You will have a great time. Honestly, you will have a great time. There's so much good talent, really good writing, really good acting. If you've been starved of good theater, you want to see that. You want to be there. You know what? I bet if you watch this, if you come to this show, you will be able to say in 15 years' time, I knew that guy when he did a monologue at Beyond Canon, because there's so many talented people that will go on to do big things.
Lovely. Ming, so much love to you, my darling. We've only got a few more weeks to go, right? And then it's going to go live. So, but thank you so much for being a part of this journey. Like, we really appreciate you. And we look forward to seeing your work in a couple of weeks' time. Thank you for being a part of the journey. Much love to you. Take care, Ming. Bye. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. She is a brilliant director, okay? So definitely you have to check out the Beyond the Canon showcase. Okay, so I'm going to bring in an assistant director. Hey!
Hello.
How you doing, Shantae?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. You're looking very well. Looking very radiant today.
Thanks.
How have you been?
I've been okay. Yeah, considering the circumstances, we're all just soldiering on. But
that's right.
I've been well.
That's right. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I'm so glad to hear that. And just thank you once again for being a part of the Beyond the Canon showcase, man. Like this one is, it's a little different from our previous ones, but I think that it's definitely changed the course of how we do things forever. Like, I really believe that. I think that it's definitely like shifted gears in a way that's been, a roller coaster ride, right? But also I just know that in the end, I'm so confident in it that I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to share this with everybody on the 28th of October. How's it been for you, Shantae? You've been like, look, you're the first time we've ever had assistant directors. Like, you got to talk to me. How's it been?
It's been amazing, it's sort of like coming full circle from like actually watching this showcase and, being an audience member, and to actually be part of the first time you guys are doing it in this way. It's just amazing. And I know it's kind of beside the point, but I think this Beyond the Canon this year has come at such a poignant time with the Black Lives Matter movement and everything. And me putting myself in some of the students' shoes, I went to drama school myself, and that first Zoom meeting that we had, it was really humbling, because for me, in my head, it was almost like deja vu. We didn't have something similar, but the topics they were bringing up and the experience they were sharing, it was like deja vu for me. And then at this point in time with the Black Lives Matter movement, married into this, and it was almost empowering to see them in this setup that you and Saru have cultivated, and it was almost freeing to see them flourish in this environment as well.
And what was, I asked Ming this question, but I'm so interested to hear from your perspective, like, what was it about the Beyond the Canon showcase that attracted you to apply for it? Like, what was it about it? And also, just in terms of, has have you been surprised at all on the journey? Like the things that you didn't expect that have shown up through this process?
The only thing that I did expect is at one point I thought it was all going to be on Zoom. I thought that we were
Right.
going to even film the monologues. Like, I was preparing myself. That was the only thing. And some of the pieces I wasn't aware of, because I thought, I'm well read. I know this. I'm going to know all the plays. And then we get there, we were like, no, you don't know this. You don't know that. But it was like amazing just to learn and be humbled in that way as well. Gosh, I've lost my train of thought. But what didn't I expect? What did I expect and what didn't I expect? I didn't expect everybody, you know, to be so resilient the way that they were, and to be so open to, you know, having one rehearsal this way and that way, and being, you know, moulded in different ways. And yeah, I don't know. And it's the thing about me for Beyond the Canon as well, is that it's not just about, you know, a random play, because this is, again, another drama school thing, is that they find a play and there's a random black character or there's a random Asian character, and then they pick the play and say, okay, you're cast, that's it. But with Beyond the Canon, what really appeals to me is you guys have gone out, you've specifically chosen plays that centre around our story. We're not assailant to, we're not you know, the sideman, if you like. The stories are for us, they're about us, and you guys have gone and taken that time to curate all of that and bring it in, and then put us at the centre of it. I say us, but I mean, you know,
yeah,
our stories at the centre of it.
And that for me is so important, that the students select the work, right? And I think that we really see ourselves as the catalyst. Like, we're going, look, hey, like, this is a starting place, and if you select a play from a monologue from one of these plays that feature in the anthology, is fantastic. But essentially, this is about you, and actually having the time out to kind of go, well, what do I want to play? Like, where do I see? Where do I, like? Where's my story? You know, and it's always interesting to see what people select. I mean, that's one of the joys, you know, definitely, of being on this side. So I'm like, sometimes I'm like, finally, someone chose that play.
Yeah. One of the ones for me was like Nice by Mustafa Massara.
Yeah.
And I was like I hadn't heard of it ever before. And then when Ben, one of our actors, chose it, and I was like, what? And the time period, because obviously, I mean, I don't read that far back unless it's like classical text. But then when I was like, what? I need to start reading stuff from like the 70s, the 80s, you know what I'm saying? It completely opens up your perspective.
I was so happy that someone chose that play, because I think that play is amazing.
That's,
you know,
amazing.
It's amazing. You know, it's amazing. And he is one of, and also, you know, he is just one of our legends, you know. Mustafa Machora, like, he is somebody who has written, like, I'll go to say, like, over 20 plays. Like, his catalogue of plays is so expansive, and, you know, it's just such a brilliant catalogue that people may have only heard about, like, maybe one or two or maybe none. And then when you come across his works, it could live like, there's no reason why this work should not be produced. And that's one of our, you know, missions, really, is to revive. Like, why are these plays not being revived? You know?
That's the thing, because, you know, there's some of the themes that are being brought up in Nice, you know, it's still prevalent today. And it opens up so many, like, so many trains of thoughts. And it's like, you know, new writing's great, you know, but the revivals that we get put on is always, like, you know, your Hamlet, your Three Sisters. But why aren't we reviving these pieces? Because, you know, even, you know, politically, you know, social politically, it is really prevalent. We need to start doing this.
Definitely. Shantae, I'm so, like, hyped that you're part of this. So, like, just tell people, because, you know what, I love Instagram Live, but I also hate it because I'm a talker and I want to talk forever. But we were kind of, like, reduced to an hour, and it's like, no. But I really want people to know who you are, what you've done in the past, you know, like, just tell us a little bit about you, so that people can check you out as well, right? And check out your work.
Yeah, I'm a director. I was an actor first, and then I turned into a director. It's not a lot about me. I'm not that interesting.
That's not true.
I don't know what to say. This is me like blubbering. I'm a mum. I'm a single mum. So I think that's something that sets me apart from, you know, other directors and their experiences, because at the end of the day, that's all we're doing. We're transferring our experiences and trying to, you know, tell the story from a place of familiarity. And if it's not familiar to us, we're trying to become familiar with it.
Yeah.
So, you know, being, you know, a single parent's hard enough, but in the arts industry, it's a myth. So any as parents, even if you're not single, just parents in general and your artists, connect. I would love to reach out to you guys.
Yes.
So yeah, that's it.
Fantastic. And I think that's so brilliant for your child is...
She's 4 years old.
She's 4 years old.
Yeah.
So, you know, for her to kind of look at you and seeing the work that you're doing, I mean, like, just amazing, Shantae. I'm so excited that you're part of this journey, and the fact that, you know, this is going to be available, right? This is going to live on. So the fact that your child, when she gets to an age where she can really kind of take it all in, she'll be like, "Hey, Ma, you were part of this project." That's brilliant.
I hope so. Because that's another part of, you know, like me as an artist as well. Like something that's important to me is like instilling confidence in young people as well.
Oh,
so I try and do a lot of work around that. So hopefully, you know, she can see, you know, Mummy was confident enough to get up and do it, and she can do it herself.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Shantae. And just like, I'm asking everybody this, but why should people, this is the pluggers, but why should people buy tickets, come out, or not come out, but actually stay in your house, stay safe.
Stay in.
But, you know, log into the Beyond the Canon showcase online on Zoom. Why should they do it? Why should they attend?
BTC is legendary. I promise you, you're going to see something that you've never seen before. You're going to find pieces that you've never seen before, or see it in a brand new light. Plus, we've all missed the theatre. And we've all rinsed Netflix. So this is a way to find something new. This way, see brand new talent, and just a different way of doing things. Maybe this will become part of our new normal as theatre as well.
Beautiful. Shantae, much love to you, my darling.
And
thank you so much for being a part of the journey. And the 28th is coming soon. It's around the corner. Being on the 28th of October. Definitely go and get your tickets. It's on RADA's website. Please help us spread the word. Shantae, can't wait to see your work on the 28th. And also, like, I know that we're going to be working together in the future. I can just sense it. So yeah, thank you for applying, and thank you for being part of this.
Yeah, well, thank you for giving us the opportunity. Thank you.
Oh, anytime, my darling. You take care.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my God, this is so amazing. Let me just bring Saru back in. So those are our two guests for today. We're going to have some more guests next week. But yeah, if you haven't written it down, I've been plugging it, so I hope you have written it down. The Beyond the Canon showcase is taking place. It was in partnership with RADA. It's going to be taking place on the 28th of October. That's a Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Please check out the RADA's website to purchase tickets. I don't know if the tickets are available just yet, but I know that they're going to be available. I'm hoping within 24 hours. Come on, RADA, put it out there, put the link out there. But yeah, please show your love. Please spread the word. Help us spread the word too. And yeah, it'd be fantastic. Hey, someone saying I missed it. Look, it's recorded, so you can always go and play it back. But Saru, any final thoughts before we get locked off of like Instagram Live?
Honestly, I just want to thank Ming and Shantae for just sharing a little bit about who they are with us. You know,
Yes.
honestly, but we are truly blessed to work with so many incredible people. This job really makes you come across like-minded souls and people who genuinely believe in the work. And it's
Yeah.
always so great to be in such good company. So yeah, definitely thank you so much to them. Thank you so much to all of the other directors and the assistant directors that have worked with us during this Beyond the Canon, the fab talent, which honestly is always just so mind-blowing what they do with this writing. And also just to thank also just the actual writers, these
Oh,
phenomenal people
definitely.
that have put together these words. I mean, and it's always great because one of the things that we know for certain is that when the pieces are chosen, they are going to be boss. Like we always know it because we're not in charge of who picks what. That the
Very
actors do
true.
that. They pick
Yep.
pieces that connect to them, that speak to them, that they feel they need to perform. And every
Yes.
single time we're like, nah, this is going to be great. And it always is. So it's really, really great. And yeah, we're really, really excited. The 28th at 7 p.m. So be available 7 p.m. guys, and it's going to be spectacular.
Yeah.
Definitely get your tickets as soon as they go live. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
so it's Beyond the Canon.
Yeah. And just to Shantae's point, because you know, we've been doing the work. So for us, in terms of like, you know, we didn't have to write a statement, you know what I mean? Say like Black Lives Matter, like we've been doing the work. Everything we do is basically saying Black Lives Matter. But hi Monique. But I also think that it is important to see this as the students see this, which is this is their piece of activism. This
Mm-hmm.
is them saying, look, I haven't been recognized, I haven't been seen, I haven't been heard within these institutions. This is my space. This is me choosing to not only, you know, pay homage to all of the work that has existed and to pay homage to the work that they've obviously selected and to be a part of Beyond the Canon Showcase, but it's their way of saying, I am here, I exist,
Mm.
and my culture matters, right? My culture matters. And so yeah, I just really wanted to say that because I think to Shantae's point, like, yes, thank you so much, because sometimes we do need to say it. Actually, we do need to say it, that this is it definitely sits within, you know, the Black Lives Matter movement, and it's something that obviously the same with Shantae, same with me, all of us have had this experience of being within institutions where we felt that our culture has been dismissed, denied, or being exploited, right? And actually, this, you know, the reason why we, as Beyond the Canon, you know, we're an organization and we make it really clear that we serve our community. We are here for our community.
Mm.
And we still work in partnership with organizations and institutions, but we also keep our own autonomy. And we really are there to ensure that every student has a different experience to the one that we've had, you know, growing up, and not seeing ourselves reflected in any of the materials that we were being taught. So that is our primary goal. And
Yeah.
it's just been absolutely incredible to keep seeing people pouring in, man, and to see the fact that these students have really fought to have this year after year after year. Graduates, they come back to the institutions to be a part of the Beyond the Canon Showcase because they recognize the importance and significance of it. And they also come back to sometimes to heal from experiences, to kind of say, look, actually, this is a way for me to have a voice. So I really thank everybody. I really thank Saru for all your
Oh,
hard work, you know,
thank
all your hard work
you.
on the project. You've been absolutely amazing. You're like, we're like the dream team, but I will say you are like the dream person to have working on this, because you understand the importance of it. and you not only get it, but you also pour all of yourself into the project, and everyone feels that, right? And so I really do thank you for producing this work. And yeah, so definitely, like Saru said, please book your tickets. 28th of October. Please spread the word. We are working on the trailer that should be coming out soon. So look out for that. And yeah, and we're going to be doing another BTC Writers Room next Wednesday. So please tell people about it. And we're going to be then talking to some of the RADA students that are part of this project. So you don't want to miss that. But thank you guys.
Thank you.
We
so
appreciate
much
you. Thank you for your continuous love. All right. Have an amazing week. Take care, guys. Love ya. Bye.